to use the technology to fix carbon emissions. One is Treedify, a blockchain sustainability company that uses its token, trees, to plant trees. It then sells these tokens for CO2 offset certificates. In addition to selling carbon credits, Treedify also provides a centralized platform for the trading of these carbon offset certificates. By using blockchain technology, the platform claims that a third of its transaction charges are donated to the planting of trees. A blockchain-based carbon offset network can help the industry by empowering tree planting companies to sell their credits to investors. Using the technology can help organizations raise capital and get their products to market quicker. In addition to creating a new platform, the company can help companies implement their current business models, which are vague and borderline illegal. Treedify's latest update enables companies to offer carbon offset transactions, offering many incentives for investors. Another example of a blockchain network fixing carbon offsets is Algorand. SPE is creating a system that facilitates good contracts, environmental initiatives, and carbon credits. The system works on the principle that carbon credits will rise in price over time. Climate Trade, another blockchain that tracks carbon emissions, makes it easy for companies to measure their emissions. Its founders are hopeful that this technology will be the catalyst to fixing the carbon offset industry. Although the concept of crypto offsets is a relatively new one, it is a hot topic in conservation circles. Some companies have already pledged to go carbon neutral. Moreover, some larger companies have made commitments to become carbon neutral. Its founders are hoping that it will improve the process by creating more transparency and accountability. However, the industry still has a long way to go before it reaches that point. One of the most exciting new applications for blockchain technology is the use of these networks to facilitate the purchase and sale of carbon emissions. By using blockchain technology, carbon emissions are converted into carbon credits, which can then be exchanged between companies and public organizations. As this data is fully traceable, it will become easy to see which offsets are being purchased and sold. This is especially important in the climate change fighting world, where everyone is aware of the effects of carbon emissions on the environment. Many companies, however, are having difficulties verifying and measuring their carbon emissions. These challenges have led to a Wild West approach to carbon offsetting that is plagued by many hard-to-abate sectors. Some companies are simply using satellite images as proof that their emissions are actually being offset. This lack of transparency and auditable proof is one of the biggest challenges facing the carbon offset industry, but blockchain can change that. By transferring the voluntary carbon market onto a blockchain, the technology can allow companies to better track their emissions and purchase offsets from low emitters. Another application of blockchain in carbon offsets is peer-to-peer trading. The blockchain allows consumers to purchase renewable energy assets using digital assets like tokens. The decentralized nature of blockchain technology also allows for watchdogs to monitor claims of carbon neutrality. One example of a non-blockchain project is Save Planet Earth, $SPE. The goal is to create a carbon credit marketplace using the $SPE investment token. By selling carbon credits, SPE will generate revenue from products made from trees and from various initiatives that are currently unspecified. In the future, the company plans to develop a drone application to monitor its tree tracking network. It is also developing a carbon trading platform for corporations. Private corporations have opened carbon markets where they sell their emission rights to avoid paying for the pollution they produce. These entities are required to release a certain number of credits that are worth a set price. Each credit represents 1 ton of CO2 pollution. Currently, the carbon market is a complicated and illegitimate system, as it is difficult to track which organization has issued which carbon credits. The carbon market is highly opaque, and current standards are not transparent or audited. Proponents of crypto offsets believe that blockchain will increase transparency and accuracy in carbon offsets. Companies buy carbon credits in exchange for taking part in carbon reduction initiatives. These carbon credits are exchanged on a formal or informal market. These credits vary in value depending on the effectiveness and scale of the activity. The issue of double spending is a huge hurdle in the carbon offsets market. The potential of blockchain technology in addressing the problem of carbon offsets is immense. By automating payment systems and business processes, smart contracts can help businesses reduce their carbon footprint. These contracts can also check purchase orders for compliance, reducing the number of employees needed for this task. Furthermore, they can reduce transportation-related emissions. That's a big win for the environment. So, if blockchain can fix carbon offsets, why not give it a carbon offsets will be launched by IHS Markit, a global provider of critical information, analytics, and solutions. This initiative will help increase transparency and trust in carbon markets. This will be especially important as carbon offset markets become increasingly active and regulated. To make the carbon market more transparent and competitive, coordination between registry providers and market participants is crucial. This project is part of an initiative by the World Bank, which aims to develop a public infrastructure for tracking and reporting carbon assets. The voluntary carbon market is characterized by a wide range of carbon offset projects with varying levels of emissions reduction potential, additionality, and social benefits. There is limited transparency into the environmental integrity of these projects. Different registry platforms use different standards to validate offset projects, which can lead to confusion. There is also no single standard for the verification of carbon credits. In short, there are many projects in the market that are not legitimate, and you need to rely on someone to verify them. GEM has extensive experience in developing secure exchange and registry systems. Its IP and proprietary technology allow it to support the needs of both buyers and sellers, and enable transparency and accountability across carbon markets. Its national climate meta registry is required by Article 6 of the Paris Agreement and helps promote fair, transparent, and accountable carbon markets. GEM Group companies have facilitated the registration of over 300 million tons of carbon dioxide since 2009. By allowing the carbon market to become more transparent, this technology will help reduce the risk and increase the funding for both buyers and sellers. Using distributed ledger technology to create universal carbon credits registries has several benefits. One of these is the potential to reduce the cost of issuance and increase liquidity pools. A digital process would make these processes easier and less vulnerable to manipulation and ensure transparency in the market. If implemented correctly, a meta-registry would improve the credibility and security of corporate offsets. So, what are the benefits? Consider the following.